Anyway, guys, let's talk about the English language and other attendant factors. If you are going to immigrate out of Nigeria, immigrate, which is it?
So we're interested to have a translator on the show.
One of the two, very true. You will be expected to write the IELTS, which a young man recently has started a movement.
IELTS and TOEFL.
But a young man has started a movement where he's asking or he's contesting that. I mean, why the relevance of this? Why should we have to write it? One, two, why is it so expensive, especially compared to the French equivalent? The IELTS costs about 89,500 naira, while the French equivalent costs 16,000. Now, there's another thing where it also has it's kind of like expires after 2 years and you have to retake it. Question, does English evolve so fast that in 2 years I have to rewrite it? Is what I'm asking. I also have any more questions as well, but I was wondering what you guys think.
Since they update the English dictionary as often as
how many words per year? Like
so
5 words or so.
For every update that goes on in the English dictionary, you need to update your English vocabulary as well. I'm actually kidding.
If anything, English is devolving.
Well, yes, but actually that's the reason that they will present to you why you have to do it.
Exactly.
Those are the 5 words that they added to English.
Exactly.
That is a little bit more than 5, but I would say that I think if it's, let's look at just Nigeria here, yeah? Let's not look at every other country taking IELTS. Normally, yes, because we were colonized by the British and we expect that English is our lingua franca anyways. So we would expect that we should not write it. Yes, but once in a while, we always get to show why we should write it.
Every day.
As Nigerians, we get to show why we should write it. And for me, the biggest, in recent times, the biggest show was, I don't know if you remember, when I was talking about it on sports. He was a journalist, just like one of us, a sports journalist. And he asked a Premiership manager, Jurgen Klopp, to apologize for using an irony in a statement. You know, he said, you know, wait, I mean, Mazino, let's say rain beat you this morning while you're in the bag. I said, oh, poor Mazino. Does that mean Mazino does not have money? You see, and then they tell Jurgen Klopp while he's talking and says, oh, there's no international. He says, there's a little competition in Africa. And then he goes, why do you call the competition little?
Little, is it because it's Africa?
No, it's because of you missed it. And that's why he mentioned it's a use of English. And this is a journalist. He goes, you must apologize to the African continent.
No,
so the IELTS webinar say, these people must, if I let's move to 1 year. I'm telling you, and so it trended everywhere. And then the guy posted and was feeling like, oh, I'm standing for Africa.
Has anybody here had to write it? Is it that tough? Because I know it's not.
Some people say it actually is very tough. As a matter of fact, that is one phase they read. A lot of people that I know that have, had. It is very tough for them. They always complain. And it's very unfortunate because, okay, look at the process for traveling. You write IELTS, you pay for visa. Now you pay for COVID-19. And that's quite expensive. To and fro. Then if you're going and then you come, you have to pay. So all of those expenses for someone, for a student who's struggling.
I can imagine.
For example, who has to go abroad to study, who's still, still looking for, work here and there, and then you still have to worry about paying. If you fail once, you have to pay, and over 100,000, I'll be close to 100,000 because really it's actually close to 100,000. Really, if you have to calculate all the expenses altogether. So because we're colonized by the British doesn't mean that we still have to they still have to punish us because we are coming over to their country.
Because we're colonized, that's why we shouldn't write it. I think it's a selection thing. I think for me, or how I interpret it, is that they are literally using as many measures as possible to literally slash people that can make it. That's honestly what I see.
Make more money.
I don't think it's about the English language, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't
think it's about the English language. Because we officially speak English here. Aside that, we actually learn with English in school. And about the hardness or the difficulty of the IELTS, I honestly feel the difficulty comes majorly from the tension of people that have written it before. Because I have people that have gone to write them, like, to be honest, there's just the format, right? And you need to understand it. And of course, and a lot of people that go for the speaking test, they tell you that it's mostly about confidence.
Yeah,
I mean, of course, speak the right English, but like confidence.
But you know what I think? I do believe that English in the past 2 years especially is beginning to devolve, especially written English. I don't know if you've ever had a conversation with with a younger person these days. There's a new I don't
short
know.
forms.
The short form, forget about that one, we're done with that argument. But now, punctuations are beginning to...
It's
lacking
punctuation.
Exactly. They expect that you do not use a full stop at the end of your sentence. When you're chatting, they're like, why do you always use a full stop? I'm like...
You know, for me, it's even a mind thing, because every time I'm like having a conversation, especially with, okay, yesterday, your friend, I was having a conversation with her. And then I noticed that in my, everything that I've written in my sentence, there were no punctuation marks, no comma, and I'm like, oh, wow.
No, yours.
I imagine what this lady must think of me. And then I remember, and I made sure that I added those, because it's important, especially when you're having a conversation with, or communicating actually, because if you're social media.
You're all still old school, man.
Communicating with someone who's very educated. So imagine what they would think about you.
Listen to what he just said. He just said y'all.
This one is a...
He just said y'all for him.
This one, yesterday, he sent me an emoji trying to explain something. Tears. And tell me how you're feeling. Which one is...
Right? You know when we played the emoji game and then you used emojis and all of that? You know, Apple or iOS just released a slew of new emojis where you had even a pregnant man, you had a pregnant person.
Okay.
You understand? Exactly. So, and all of that. So, as much as possible. And then you know that it happened that an emoji would have 5 different shades. They're trying to include everything in such a way that you get to a point where pictures actually speak louder than words.
Yeah, it's actually called rebus. It's something that has always existed, but I'd rather stick to words and punctuations. So please, if you're sending me a message,
emojis are cool.
Make sure your commas full
From
stops.
today, I'm sending you in emojis.
Yeah, no, don't use them.
And then we are talking about the reading culture going next.
Please.
Tell us what you think in English. Use your punctuations. Use the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC. We'll be back.
Emojis.